I'm Nu-Trix, and today we're talking about the VerseLab MV-1 from Roland. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, having it interface with Zen Beats to get all the internal controls and features you can have with this, which is pretty cool. But now today I'm going to talk about how to use this to make a song and how different this is from an MC-101 or 707, because they use the same technology, but there's a definitely different approach to this device and who would be interested in this because of the way they built it. So let's go. So the MV-1, the VerseLab from Roland, is what they called I would say a DAW-less system, but all in one box, meaning you can have all your sound you need, you can record your voice or an instrument, and you basically can output a song right from that box without anything else. So without the DAW, without the computer, this is everything you want into one box. That's how they approach it. Now, of course, there's limits like everything else, and one of the goal to bring people to be able to make a song out of scratch, starting from scratch and make a whole song without leaving one box, is making the process simple. And that's the whole challenge here, to make it simple and bring people who have ideas to help them focus and structure their stuff so it becomes a whole song that they can actually be proud of and share and play it. So when you look at this, technically speaking, this is the same technology that you have in the MC-101, 707, Jupiter X and XM, and the Phantoms. And I mean, basically, you've got the Zen core technology in this. Same thing that you have in Zenology also. So you have high quality sounds. You've got a ton of it. I think you've got like 3,000 different sounds built in. And of course, there's an expansion with the SD card, so you can put some sound in them, import more sounds. So what's different about this compared to the MCs? If you look at the MCs, and I looked at different interviews that online about the makers of this, this uses the same technology, but this doesn't have the same target audience in mind, and this doesn't have the same objective in mind. So this is really to replace the whole studio process of recording, composing, recording, and mixing out a song. So it's one single box. Of course, how do you approach this? Well, we've got good sounds, and you have a big difference in the fact that there's a workflow here for creating a song. And this is, I think, the backbone of this machine is the workflow section. To compare this to the groove box, like the MC-707, the groove boxes are made to be played live. They're performance tools. Of course, they're groove boxes. They can have a structure, but then this one has a song section, what people ask for the MC. But the MC were not built this way. The MCs were thought to be performance tools that you, in real time, interact with. Whereas this, you record everything, you prepare everything. You could still play a little bit with it, but it's more made to do, I program everything. When I go into song mode, it plays the way I want, and then I go mixer, and then I'm going to go Mixdown. So the structure is sequence, section, song, mixer, and Mixdown. Now, the logic of sequence is when you press sequence, you have access to 8 different tracks. Now, actually not 8, 7, because the vocal one is only available in song mode. Yes, song mode, where actually you sing on top of a structure of a song. So kick, snare, hi-hat, kit, which is a drum kit, bass, instrument 1 and 2, these are, if you compare it to the MC-707 or MC-101, these are clips. Now, these are focused for you into these different sounds, but honestly, you can load anything else instead of the kick. You can have a bass, another bass, a piano, a violin, whatever it is. You can have 7 different clips. Now, to help you structure a song, they say, well, most people are going to have a kick, snare, hi-hat, and drum kit, the whole rest of it, a bass and 2 instruments, and you're ready to go. Most people can have a song with that. But if you don't want this, you can say, I want a drum kit here with the whole drum, and then the rest of here will be bass, pads, whatever it is. So you can create something else. But let's say we follow their structure. So when you're in sequence, you click on kick, and then I'm going to go section first here, sequence. Sequence, I'm in kick. Hey, you see the kick step sequencer at the bottom here. Kick, 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 kick. So I'm going to go mixer, and I'm going to mute. I'm just pressing mixer and the name by holding him. I'm muting the different tracks. So now we're hearing the drums. That's it. And the length of a sequence, if you press edit and the next measure, you see the length 16. You can go up. Whoops, sorry. You can go up to 128 steps. So 8 bars if you want. And I'm going to go back to 16. So, but you can even have these odd numbers like 15 and 13 and 12. So you can have these polyrhythmics patterns if you want, without having them the same length. So really interesting. But right now, keeping to 16, I've got my drum kit, just my drum, okay? And it's very easy. I mean, you select the note you want to play, and you type it in. If you go into step mode. If you go in real time, well, you're just going to play them. Now, it means that this is the drum kit. And you see now I'm changing the pitch. So it just reminds you that this is an instrument on a keyboard, basically, but I'm playing one drum note instead. Snare, same logic. I have my snare. And hi-hat, same logic. I have. And you see here, you hear the fact that there are different notes from different pitch. It just goes. Okay? And the drum kit, I don't use it on this one because we're in section 1. Section 1 is a group of these 7 melodics and drum tracks. And if you're going, I'm going to go mixer, turn these on. I also have the bass. If I press in section mode, if I press on it, I've got a preview. See? Preview. I'm previewing that group of sequences that plays together. And the bass, well, if you go in the bass, into sequence, it's a pretty cool sounds. And then go back to section. Now this one also has an instrument, like little ding, with the structure playing here now. Then I go this one. And then, so I build these section of the song. That's why they call it this way. And then I have another instrument coming in, this one here. But interesting enough, the next step here, that same instrument too, I'm switching to another one, because keep in mind that these are like clips. In this clip, you've got these 8 different instruments playing, but I'm changing the instrument in the clip of instrument. So in the sequence of instrument 2, go back to sequence here. So that's the one I have in section 5, but if I go into section 4, go back to sequence on instrument 2, it's same. So that same instrument 2 changes as I go along in the sections. So it opens up a lot more than just having 7, because if you don't use a track or a sequence or an instrument at one point, you can recycle, if you want, the content to another one. The only problem is the mixer. When you go into this logic, this track will go through the same mixing process. So if you mute it, it's going to mute for all the sections. So keep in mind that if you do that, switching between instrument over sections, you would still need to think about them going through the same mixing process if you want them to send to the, I would say, the EQ or delay or processing, whatever you want. You would have to think about how to make it so it's better at the mixing stage, but it works. In my case, I've got 8 different, and you see how long it is. This one is 8 bars long. So that's how you see it. And then when you go into song, well, you go into record mode. And then you basically type in which one you want. Well, the first one I want this to be this one. Oh, no, I want this one. Press on the one you want. No, basically I want this one. And then you build it. In my case, it was very straightforward. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 plays twice, and then the 5, the 6, the 7, and the 8 will play for the rest of it, and then it stops. So if you're in the song mode and you press on where I'm going to get rid of record. If you press wherever you want, it's going to start from there. So now if I want to record voice, I would go into record and type vocal, and that would be singing in real time. Now this is an XLR connector at the back, which I don't have one. Come on, guys. I would expect a combo mic, a combo input, because I have a balanced connector, but on a 1/4 inch. So I would like to have a combo instead of a XLR, but that's me. And there's also a built-in microphone, and you can sing into it. I tried it earlier. I'm not a super singer. I'm not a singer. And my problem here is that this machine there is very noisy, so I got all the noise from this with my recording, so I would need to have go through like this microphone and into the back here, which I don't have a cable. So I'm not be able to test the quality of this. Well, I'm going to have to find something else to do it. So it actually works pretty well when you do that structure of a song. And when it's done, you basically just can listen to the whole process of the whole song. I want to go to Moog. So that's my recording of my voice, which is to Moog. I want to go. You want to go. We all want to go to Moog. I'm doing this because this is a loan from Moog Audio in Montreal. So that's why I did that little singing that we all want to go to Moog Audio. The great people in Montreal, they're one of the places to go if you're into synthesis, modular, and anything that is music related. So that's why I did this little Moog Audio recording. So I'm going to go mixer, take that vocal out. And that's it. That's basically how you have that whole structure of a song. And when you're happy with it, you go into Mixdown. Of course, there's more information about mixing. You can go in each tracks and EQ them. There's a reverb, there's a delay, and there's a multi-effect you can send to it. It's okay. It's a small window, but it works. It's easy. And if you want to have more control over it, then I suggest you go over Zen Beats and you see this full screen. And when you go Mixdown, you can actually do a full Mixdown. And this is interesting. You can do a mixdown of the vocal only, mixdown of the instrument, separate tracks. So this mixdown of instrument means you can finish your mix somewhere else if you want. And full mix, you just have the bounce of the stereo mix. So pretty interesting. And if you press shift, you see there's always another thing here, like mastering is in square, and this you go shift in here, and then you get multi, compressor, 5 EQ limiter. So you can go in and enter the edits. Again, if you don't like this little screen, hook it up to Zen Beats and you're going to have more control over these on screen. I showed this in another video there somewhere. My 2 cents about this whole thing. I had more fun playing with this than with the MC-707. I think it's the ease of the structure and the workflow that got me to structure a song. Well, there's a song mode right away. It was super easy for me to structure this rapidly and get my head around making songs with this, more than the MCs where there's a lot more menu. So it took me more time to get to use the MC. At the same time, maybe it's because I know about the MCs that it's easier to work with this because it didn't start from scratch. So I might be biased on this thing. But the one thing that I think this thing is lacking, but still I understand why they did it. You don't have a lot of editing power for the synthesis aspect. Of course, there's a little screen, but still you can do enough with this. But you cannot go and tweak the synthesizer sounds. You cannot do the synthesis in it, which I know this is a very powerful synth that is in there. That's the Zen Core technology. And I understand that because of the small window is basically you pick a good sound and you run with it. And if you have Zenology Pro, well, you can do the sound you want, export them on a SD card, put it in and load it in. So really powerful, but I'm kind of wondering with the Zen Beats integration, if it would be possible to have a full-fledged window to edit like a Zen Core or a Zenology editor. Not Zenology, but kind of the same interface, but what you're doing, you're editing in real time what's happening in this thing, and then you save it. So instead of saving in the computer, exporting and load it in, can you use it just by system exclusive if needed, control this and make the sound you want. So only when you have Zen Beats hook it up, you could have that power. That's my suggestion, because this would be a great piece of hardware to run with that, because then you would have the full power of the synthesis in a song structured groove box. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I like it a lot. I had fun with it. It was quick and easy and fun. There's little things like I would like to have a combo mic input, so I could just put my microphone in there, but I can't right now because I don't have the right cable. And the options and the layout is very simple and very efficient. And you can actually put MIDI, connect MIDI, and have your keyboard to control. If you select an instrument, then you can have a piano and play pianos. And this thing sounds great. That's it. I hope this helps you kind of understand the differences between the VerseLab to other Roland Groovebox and why this is different, and how this could also go into influencing where Roland's going to come into pass. I don't know where they're going with all this, but I like this one, and I find this more inspiring than the MCs right now. I just like the evolution of this structure, and for me, I'm less into performing live because that's not my background. I'm more into in studio production and making your own stuff from scratch and having a song. So this structure fits my way of thinking and creating. So I like it. Cool. Stay safe. Make more music.